Don't be like me. If you're starting to feel some resistance when you screw in your resin vat, then you should follow the steps laid out in this video, as this is potentially one of the most overlooked issues with resin printers, especially whose vats are held in by screws. I've owned my Saturn II for about a year and a half, and over the last few months, I've put some serious printing hours into it. Unfortunately, that time hasn't come without consequence. When prints finish up, they rise all the way to the top of the printer and drip. I never thought this was an issue until I started to install the Wham Bam Flex plate, video linked in the top right. While removing the vat, the screws were incredibly tough to take out. I managed to remove one side with some pliers, but the other one only came out a few millimeters before the plastic screw head started spinning without the screw shaft spinning. It was stuck, and the cap was pretty damaged. The first thing I did was reach out to Elegoo customer service. After a week of back and forth emailing, they offered me a $20 discount on the purchase of a new machine, and I replied saying I wasn't interested in buying a new machine every year. Finally, they offered to sell me a new mid plate, the red piece of metal that your vat screws into, for about $40. I would have taken this up, but the part would have taken 4 weeks to ship. That just wasn't gonna work for me. Now, wielding the power of frustration and anger, I went back to the screw and tried again. This time, instead of just turning the screw, I applied some force as if I was trying to bend the screw at the same time. This extra force added friction to the plastic cap and stopped it from spinning and actually turned the screw shaft. It took some time, but eventually the screw came out. If you try this and it doesn't work for you, my next idea was to use a power drill to basically obliterate the plastic cap and then use pliers directly on the exposed screw shaft to unscrew it. You can always buy extra screws from Elegoo. After getting the screws off, I removed the vat. I hadn't mentioned it yet, but there was some resin on my LCD screen. Luckily, none of it had cured, but I was worried that the FEP had been punctured and that it had leaked into my printer. After further inspection, the vat hadn't leaked at all. All the resin under it seemed to have come from resin that had splashed from dripping and slowly worked its way under the film. This goes to show how much of a problem the splashing can be. After cleaning the LCD and mid plate, I decided that it was best to take the printer apart so I could make sure resin hadn't leaked into the printer and so I could better clean the screw holes. You don't need to disassemble the printer, but it does make this process easier. It's also cool to see the inside of your machine. Disassembling the printer is straightforward. First, make sure your printer is unplugged if it isn't already. Next, remove the 4 screws from the back side of the printer, revealing the electronics. You're going to want to unclip the LCD ribbon cable, the Z motor cable, the Z sensor cable, and the USB extension that powers the carbon filter. Next, you can remove the screws located around the perimeter of the mid plate. There were 2 screws hiding under some stickers. If the mid plate doesn't easily lift off of the base, it's likely that you missed a screw. After getting the top assembly apart from the base, I placed it onto my desk and got to work. The first step was to identify the issue. On Reddit, people had been blaming the issue on people screwing the vat screws in improperly, recommending that people use a tap and die set to both rethread the holes in the mid plate and to tidy up the vat screws. I concluded that the issue was hardened resin in the screw holes. My method for cleaning them was straightforward. Spray some IPA onto a paper towel, place the screw on it, and use your thumbnail to press into the screw threads. Now, just turn the screw as if you were unscrewing it and watch to see the amount of debris that comes out. After cleaning the screw, insert it into the screw hole and turn until you start to encounter some resistance. Then, unscrew a little bit and screw in a little bit, repeating a few times. Then, remove the screw and repeat the screw cleaning process. Repeat this until you're able to hand tighten the screws all the way through the holes and debris stops showing up on your paper towels. After this cleaning, I was easily able to screw in my vat screws by hand. Set aside an hour or 2 and take your time while doing this and you'll get great results. After you're satisfied, reassemble the printer. While you're at it, go ahead and touch up some of the splashes around your printer. It seemed that I personally had some on the Z-rail. While I was at it, I ended up removing the FEP sheet from the resin vat and disassembling that. I put the vat and the 2 metal gaskets that hold the FEP sheet in place into my wash station, and the screws in a pickle jar filled with IPA to clean the resin off of everything. From now on, I plan to check under my resin vat anytime I need to add more resin to it, to clean the screws about once a month, and to clean the screw holes if I ever feel resistance. If you're not already doing this, then please start to before you run into an issue like I did. I've personally never seen someone recommend this overlooked part of maintaining your printer, so make sure to let others know so that they don't run into these same issues. If you found this video helpful, leave me a like and a comment. It really helps the channel and motivates me to keep making these videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.